Diese Furcht.
Hi, and welcome back. Few television shows have been as anticipated as Apo's House of the Dragon. Today, we're going to see the 10 things that you need to know before to see House of Dragons. Game of Thrones prequel series titled The House of the Dragon focuses on House Targaryen, only 200 years before the events narrated in the original fiction. The Targaryen family escaped the destruction of Valyria to settle in Rocadragon, from where Aegon I conquered Westeros. The Targaryens are one of the great families that ruled the Frankish fief of Valyria. To win their battles, bred and trained dragons to fight, always under its shield of a three-headed dragon of ghouls spewing flames. In addition to the Targaryens, is the Sea Serpent, also known as Lord Corlys Velaryon, the Lord of House Velaryon, an equally ancient Valyrian lineage with House Targaryen and one of the most famous nautical adventurers in the history of Westeros. But every king of Westeros has his faithful hand, and that is none other than Otto Hightower, who serves faithfully and loyally both his king and his kingdom. Next to him is Alicent Hightower, his daughter and one of the most beautiful women in the Seven Kingdoms raised in the Red Keep. Balerion was known as the Black Dread for a reason. He's absolutely terrifying, regarded as the largest dragon to ever grace the known world, with fire-colored black as well as his scales. No wonder Aegon Targaryen managed to conquer the Seven Kingdoms. The inspiration behind many epic stories has been Balerion, which is said by some to have given birth to the Iron Throne. Following the death of Aegon, Balerion was rode with pride by Maegor Targaryen and later Viserys Targaryen. Balerion would live to be over 200 years of age, eventually experiencing old age, a rare gift conferred upon very few dragons. One of the main reasons this particular show was created rather than any of the other Game of Thrones spin-offs is because of the strong foundation set by George R.R. Martin's Fire, Blood. The historical and contemporary prequel novel chronicles the Targaryen dynasty from Aegon I the Conqueror to the Dance of the Dragons civil war that ravaged the dynasty by fire, blood, tooth, and bone. Martin's book is the blueprint for ABO's new dragon-filled show and can serve as a worthy successor of the original groundbreaking series. Brian Cogman's original series entitled House of the Dragon became a rejected spin-off of the HBO series Game of Thrones. Cogman wrote the Game of Thrones series Bible and was referred to by those on the set as the Keeper of Mythos. He completed 11 scenes of the episode series throughout his term, including standout episodes like Kissed by Fire, What is Dead May Never Die, and A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Ryan Condal and Miguel Sapochnik are the two showrunners of House of the Dragon. Sapochnik's name is most familiar to Thrones fans, as he was one of the directors behind many of the series' most acclaimed episodes, including Hardhome, Battle of the Bastards, The Winds of Winter, The Long Night, and more. Condal is serving as the head screenwriter for the series. He was the creator behind Colony and is personally recommended by George R.R. Martin's team. Game of Thrones come under criticism for having insufficient diversity in its content. And that's a point House of the Dragon is addressing, both in front of the screen and behind. The first season of the prequel series has 4 episodes, all helmed by female directors, first for Game of Thrones. The 3 heads of the Targaryen sigil each represent a different dragon rider. King Viserys, Rhaenyra, and Daemon each ride the side of Mount Balerion, Mount Syrax, and Mount Caraxes, raining fire down upon their enemies. The dragon ride scenes that were featured in the movie The Legend of Dragon Pass will not be shown after Viserys ascends Baelin's corpse and leaves his other dragons without guidance. Rhaenyra and Daemon will be quite useful for this, providing plenty of fiery sky scenes. Caraxes, one of Daemon's fiery reptilian friends, resembles a different animal from those of the other 2 fire lizards, known as a bloodworm. It is initially tamed by King Aemon Targaryen I Targaryen. The dragon is described as the fiercest of the young dragons in the dragon pit and fearsome, and no stranger to blood and fire. With Caraxes available to Daemon during the Dance of Dragons, we can rest assured that there will be a shower for anyone who gets in his way, including his niece, the pure Valyrian Rhaenyra. Once Barristan Selmy informed Daenerys of Tyrion's initial statement on the first film of Game of Thrones, he once said, "Madness and greatness are 2 sides of the same coin." Whenever a new Targaryen is born, the gods toss the coin in the air, and the world holds its breath to see how it will land. Dance of Dragons sums up a brutal civil war in which people are pitted against each other by family and dragon against dragon for the Iron Throne. The war nearly destroys the Targaryen family, leaving only 3 survivors by the time of the events depicted in the Game of Thrones TV series. Viserys' death gives rise to a scramble for the throne where everyone aspires to safeguard the scheme of their choosing. Rhaenyra is named Viserys' heir, but the overthrown king is depicted as ready to tolerate Maraartha death rather than see a woman take rule of the Iron Throne. His younger brother Daemon believes that his rightful place is as future ruler and intends to burn as much he is capable of in order to recover what is his. The conflict between him and Viserys will subsequently lead to the satisfying demise of the Dragon Dance. HBO confidently planned so our planet be moved millions of years in the past to Westeros, inside of the favored home associated with the character known as House Targaryen, before they were forced out of the Wall in the Long Night. Expertise used on prequels and nicknames like the Long Night and Blood Moon depict the haven of the possibly zombie, like White Walkers. It's also intended to look into the mysteries of the Children of the Forest who aid Bran throughout the 4th season of Game of Thrones. Naomi Watts and Jane Goldman were set to star in the premiere of Blood Moon, which featured a stage creation of a book by Scott Frank. The series was canceled after it cost more than $30 million to create the first episode, and former Time Warner Entertainment head Bob Greenblatt admitted watching the episode before it was canceled. Greenblatt's account offered a cut of the pilot a few months after his arrival. I said this just doesn't work, and I think it doesn't deliver on the promise of the original series. And he didn't disagree. Meanwhile, The Hollywood Reporter recently reported that a Jon Snow spin-off is in production at HBO, with Kit Harington reprising his role in the latest spin-off. Now that the grand total of Game of Thrones spin-offs currently being explored by HBO has expanded to 8 newcomers, there are 3 live-action series being explored, including 10,000 Ships, Sea Missions, and Sea Serpents. Steve Conrad is announced to write the pilot for the Dunk and Egg prequel series. Amanda Siegel branches out from her work on Wonder and will write the first episode of 10,000 Ships, which Bruno Heller will direct for its pilot. We hope Blood Moon and House of the Dragon will have better fates. On the other hand, the next HBO offerings are Meereen and Givenchy. As we well know, Game of Thrones is based on the power struggle for the 7 kingdoms of the Baratheon families, Lannister, Stark, Targaryen. The latter family is represented only by Daenerys Targaryen, the mother of dragons. If we remember some of the excerpts from the series or the novel, it is mentioned that in the history of Westeros, one family dominated the 7 kingdoms for many years. The Targaryens, and it was not until Robert Baratheon took the Iron Throne after murdering the Mad King and what was presumed to be the last of the Targaryens. So Fire and Blood and the new series House of the Dragon resumes the story of Game of Thrones, but 200 years ago, where power struggles ended the Targaryen clan and its influence in the kingdoms of Westeros. Game of Thrones enthusiasts will remember the ill-fated comparison of Ser Jorah Mormont, Ian Glen, and Tyrion Lannister in the ruins of Valyria in the 5th season of the show. This mysterious site could have a significant effect on the House of the Dragons because of its special connection to the Targaryens' past. House Targaryen's initial landing on the island of Dragonstone originated because their landing was based on the worst possible forecast about the Valyrian descendants whose dwelling was the island of Driftmark. Despite what little is understood about the worst thing that has ever happened in this world, we're certain the great personnel that inhabit the Crown of Essos are happy memories that never had their chance to vanish. The destructive eruption afterward resulted in Dothraki kingdoms becoming overrun, permitting the Dothraki to achieve innumerable landfields locally. The ruinous event was so powerful it even killed dragons, and is the reason why there are so few left in Westeros. And that's all for today. Give me a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos. See you next time. Goodbye.